Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harmonique. This is a new iOS app that is basically a chord organ and piano that just lets you play chords in any key and see what the notes are, change keys, change instruments, add effects, and do some other cool things. So let's get into it. On here, you've got your piano keyboard. I'm sure everyone's seen something like this. It's got the notes written on it, and on the left, there are the chords in the major key and the chords in the parallel minor from G minor. And you can mix them. Cool. Great. So if you want to change a key, you can select the key and choose a key from the circle of fifths. So let's go to the key of D. And you'll notice that if I press the key, you'll see the notes in the chord, like the 4 of D is G major, and that's listed under the key. And you can see that D, G, and B are in there. So the D wraps around, so it's G, B, and D if you were going to go up, but it's presented as D, G, and B here. Okay, so let's look at some of the options we have. All the keys and the basic sounds like piano, harmonica, and guitar are all available for free users. If you just download the app, you can go play around with that. There's some advanced features I have here. So, for example, you have like 100 instruments you could choose from for your chord sound and your piano sound. And you can choose the octave, you can make the octaves go down, and you can change the mix here. And obviously, this is a little bit easier to improvise if you're playing the chords in the left hand and using your right hand to play the piano. But you could also drone out the chord and then improvise from there. So let's try to do that. Let's go to our play options. We're going to select drone mode, and I think drone mode is available to all free users, but the more advanced drones and performances are not. So let's hold down the one chord, and then it's just going to keep ringing. So obviously that melody is not going to win any Grammys, but you get the idea. I can long press again, and the drone will stop. You can add sevenths for a jazzier feel. So let's change the piano sound to maybe something like, you know what? Let's just go to the guitar. So if you're not used to hearing sevenths in a chord together, they can all kind of sound similar, but the idea here is you can hear chords in isolation and maybe they start sounding a little bit more distinct over time. We have some effects. You can take tape delay and reverb. And you can adjust them. There's even BPM sync available. You can change the color of your keyboard, which is cool. You can flip left to right if you want to do things that way. And there's also an alternate palette for unlocked users. And this uses some pretty wild chords that are borrowed from some major pop songs over the years. And you can play around with this and see if you come up with any interesting combinations. You could change the Nashville numbers, which is often used for like country music sessions, or so I'm told. And yeah, you can turn off the display, you can change the highlights, change the note labels. So you just got this kind of like minimalist experience, which is something you might want. You can highlight the notes of the chord, or you can highlight the notes that are in the major or minor parallel minor scale. There's also some looping available that you can play around with. It's kind of an experimental feature, so I'm not going to dive into it now, but you can record your phrase and save it to your iPhone and um, listen back to it if you want. There's also built-in lessons on chord progressions and music theory basics, circle of fifths, borrowed modes, and some technical like to do help lists, uh, some tutorials on using different more advanced technical modes of the app. So I think that's kind of my overview for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you download it and enjoy it and have fun playing chords. Bye bye.